My name's Marri. I'm one of the team leads on the 3rd floor for acute care. I've been a nurse for almost 4 years. In January, I'll celebrate my 4-year anniversary with the hospital. Before I started nursing school, I didn't, to be honest, like August of 2011, I didn't know I was going to be a nurse. I was sitting in front of a guidance counselor at Rose State, and I need a career path where I can, start working quickly so I can take care of my kids. And I basically left with my kids, my vehicle, and some belongings and toys and shoes and clothes. And I moved into my sister's old farmhouse with borrowed furniture, and I lived like a refugee. So, I know what that's like to need. And someone along the way helped me out. And they gave me a $100 bill, and they said, just when you get to that point in your life and you can pay it forward, when God tells you to pay it forward, you listen to him. And I've said, okay, come to that point where, I graduated, I got a great job working for a beautiful place. I've never felt so at home with a company or with a group of beautiful humans as here in Shawnee. It was the day we had the ice storm, and it was really cold out. I think we had 2 or 3 inches of ice on the ground. Everything was shutting down. He came into our floor from the ER, I guess after just asking him, about his situation. He was homeless. He confided in me that he'd actually been in the military for 30 years, served our country. God pulled me aside, and it was actually in the stairwell on 3rd floor. He was like, hey, wait, listen, I'm talking to you. It's your job, I'm telling you. You're gonna help him out. And I'm like, okay. So I was moved by his story, and I had just felt like an overwhelming need to help him in some way. And I asked him for that day, what can I do to help? And he told me exactly what he needed on that day. So I did everything I could to help him with that. He could have gone to the Salvation Army, but he felt uncomfortable there. He didn't want to sleep in a big open room with a bunch of strangers. He didn't feel comfortable. And it was cold out, it was freezing, and it was 2 inches of ice, and it's not like he could stay in his usual spot. The elements weren't conducive to that. I just try to pay it forward whenever I can. Someone paid it forward to me, and I have a voice in my head that tells me, hey, here it is. So I asked him, I said, what can I do? And he said, well, I don't have the money, but if I had a hotel for the night where I could, sleep and be safe and warm, made some arrangements, made a few phone calls, and, found a place for him that was, reasonable. And our second obstacle that we had is, the taxis quit running because the roads were too bad, and I couldn't find him a ride, but eventually we were able to, make sure that he got to where he needed to go. So many times, we see people in need, and so it was my honor to help him, to pay it forward. I think too often, we all get caught up in our own lives that we're not aware of what everybody else is going through. And I felt touched by him and able to, give him something, give him back some dignity that he might have lost along the way. And, I think that it's just how we operate and how some other things in our lives operate that we don't have control over, so we just have to listen. What happened the next day or the day after that, it didn't matter. It's just that, he was human and he deserved a place to sleep. I think that if we all try to take a different approach, a different viewpoint on life and, obstacles that people go through, and not be so judgmental in the way that we view the world, and just try to make it a better place, a little softer for people when they're going through troubles, it just might, make us a little softer and see the world in a different way. It's hard to explain. Just, we listen and we are open. Sometimes that voice isn't just in our head. I think I know it's God. Got to be quiet and listen, and he'll talk to us and guide us through and get us to where he wants us to go. If I can help ease some of that and, make him feel a little bit better, feel human, that's what I wanted to do, because I wasn't so long ago I knew what that was like. He provided the situation that's set up for me to be able to leave Iowa, and the timing for my sister to have a place, and for me to get into nursing school. God did that. I owe that to God. I owe that to, and I want to give back, because God gave me so much. God gave me the opportunity to, and now I'm going to get teary-eyed, but that's okay. God gave me that opportunity to show my girls how to be strong, and how to fight back, and how to not let those things change us, and not give up, to never give up. Someone needed some help. Someone needed some love, kindness, and I'm just doing what anybody would do, I think, if they had the opportunity, just to be honest. I think that the hardest part is realizing that some of those really hard moments when we find out how strong we are, and actually in the same instance we're so tough, we're so strong, that we're equally as fragile and soft and tender in that same very moment. It's just weird to look at. And we realize, we look back and we're like, okay, I understand it now. I understand that journey that you led me on was for this moment, was this purpose, to be here. I don't know. Cut it.